pretty good idea of how the proceedings flow, or do I need to re-explain it to you?
I have a good idea.
Okay, great. All right, I'm gonna read your record card. It's got a lot of information about you. Want to make sure we got the right person in front of us and that everything we have is correct. You are Ross. You are Rico Smith II. Your number is 327-649. You are medium custody there at Luther Luckett Correctional Complex. You're 23 years of age, and you are serving an 11-year sentence for uh, manslaughter
Oh,
second degree, assault second degree, 3 counts, receiving stolen property, 1 endangerment, 2 counts, fleeing or evading police, escape second degree, identity facility, and finally, tampering with physical evidence. I'm sorry, tampering with a prisoner monitoring device. You've served 4 years and 8 months, and you have 2 years and 2 months remaining on your sentence. You do not have any loss of good time, and you do not have any detainers. That sounds pretty accurate to you, Mr. Smith.
Sir.
Okay. I kind of speak up a little bit because I kind of can't hear you a little bit. Speak up. Uh, okay, so you're coming back to us off of a 6-month deferment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see what they told you to do.
hey, hit them likes. Get us into the algorithm, please. And por favor. And sharing is caring. Send it over to anybody. Your grandmama,
Give me
tu
a second,
mama,
sir.
anybody. Even people you don't like, send it
7224.
to them. They might like it. Try it. You'll like it. Did anybody get his offender number? I wrote his name, but I guess I popped up the wrong individual. If you guys, if anybody got his offender number, if
Okay,
you
you
could,
saw Mr. Nickel, Miss Huddleston, and Mr. Helbig, and they told you to complete MRT. Did you get that done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I know we're seeing you on a revocation, not revocation, but we're seeing you due to you getting revoked. But I want you to talk to us about that manslaughter charge that you got back in 19, manslaughter, assault 2, receiving stolen property, 1 endangerment. Talk to us about that, man. What happened?
I was I was in a stolen car, and later that night we was driving and we seen police get behind us, and we took the police on a high-speed chase, and the car ended up wrecking, flipped a couple times, hit a light pole, flipped a couple times. A couple officers got injured. One of my family members died in the car wreck, and a couple more people had got injured along with myself. And after the car wreck, I mean, it really wasn't after that, it really wasn't too much that I could do. But it's as you know, I didn't put nobody for the blame. You know, I took full accountability for what happened that night and full responsibility for my actions. But what I did wasn't right. And as I look back on it today, I mean, this is still not right. And I think about it and grieve about it every day.
And that happened 2019?
Yes, sir.
And you serve any time on that?
Yes, sir. On the manslaughter.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm serving time for now.
I'm a little bit confused here. Hold on.
he's confused. I'm confused. He didn't even get any time. And I was reading a news article right now. He cut off
Oh,
his.
okay. My mistake. I see what's going on. You were in jail for 1,000 days before they convicted you of your charges.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense now. So what happened with this escape? Did you get out on hip on this or anything?
You repeat that again?
Were you on hip for this case?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you got out on
HIP?
hip? You
Yes,
got out
sir.
on hip,
Yes, sir.
and then you escape hip. So talk to us about that, man. What was they called you? You told them to go ahead on. You wasn't gonna whatever. Talk to us about that.
I was kind of, there's no excuse for me cutting the watch off in general, but I was kind of going through something. My grandfather had just passed, my granny had just passed, and it was too much going on. I had trial coming up from my little cousin dying from the manslaughter, and I knew what I did. They was calling me up there to do a drug test, and I had smoked a little, a little blunt or something to try to calm down, and I knew what I did was wrong, and I knew I was going to jail. So
why should the parole board give you another opportunity at this if you're not doing you don't seem to? Okay, let's start out. Let's go back, and I know you're young, but you still know right from wrong. Let's go back. Let's go back to the original manslaughter charge. All the havoc you caused through your actions. Someone got killed. Someone got seriously injured. I mean, and I'm thinking you get an opportunity to even get parole from that,
Mm.
and then you do this. You cut off you cut the device off, and you book, and you don't. It's like you don't. You're not valuing what you had, your freedom. Talk to me, man.
I do value my freedom. What I did wasn't right. I can't, sit here and make a justifiable reason for it because there's no reason for it. What I did was wrong. And I was young at the time, but now that I'm older and I can sit back and think about what I did, I know what I did was wrong. I know what I did in the time frame. I wasn't thinking. I was just acting in the moment, not thinking that, that I would have to face consequences for my actions. And
I'll be honest with you, Rico. I know you're saying you were young. You're still young. You're 23 years old.
yes, sir.
I don't think young has to do anything to do with it. I just think that I don't know if you're taking things seriously enough or not. If you're just looking at things very casual, and you get these opportunities, you say, I can get by. I can make it work. And you just make these decisions that have consequences. Because you weren't that young when you got revoked for the escape. That was a year and a half ago. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So you have hold on for a minute.
What do you guys feel? Do you guys feel that he's ready to be let out?
Your history starts when you were a juvenile. You did a burglary. You did a burglary, criminal mischief, and fleeing. So what was going on there?
I was easily influenced, hanging with the wrong crowd, and just watching. I was just following. Basically, I was following in the wrong footsteps, as you know.
What did y'all do on the burglary? What was it that you all did?
Broke into a school.
Mm-hmm. That made a lot of sense, huh?
No, sir.
Then you're still a juvenile. You go down to 2012. There's a juvenile case for assault. It got amended to disorderly conduct and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. After that, and you had a possession of a handgun. What you doing carrying a handgun, man? Why you need a handgun? At being a juvenile, why'd you need a handgun?
No reason.
What was the purpose of having the handgun?
I didn't want it around me, sir. So I stole it from my sister to sell it because I didn't know what her use for it was. I didn't want it around me. I was scared.
Come on, Rico. Come on, man. You can do okay, I'm not even gonna go there with that one. I'm just gonna move on.
I would have said, hey, I wanted to show it off to my friends.
Then you got another assault that's tied into the murder charge, okay? So you were a juvenile when all this other stuff went down. with the person getting killed in the car that you were driving?
Sir,
How old were you then?
16.
16 years old. How'd you end up with a car, man? How'd you end up with a car? You stole a car?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think about all this? Tell us, what do you think about all this, man? What?
Everything that I did, as I look back, you know, I had enough time to look back. I had enough time to think about what I did, and what I did was wrong. There's no reason for what I did. If I can go back in time, then I would change the people I would hang around. I would change the groups of stuff, the people I hung around. I would stay in school more. I would have did more academics. But it's just stuff that I didn't do, and I was moving too fast before I thought. I wasn't thinking. I was just acting. I was seeing somebody do it, and it was, you know, around that time, it's just, okay, this is what's popping. This is what's going on. And I was just like, oh, I was easily influenced. I wasn't sitting there thinking like, hey, if I do this and I get caught, this is the outcome of it. Or I wasn't thinking, hey, if I do this, somebody will get hurt from it. I was just moving like, I see y'all doing it. You know, y'all getting away with it. So I thought it was cool. And now that I'm sitting back and looking at it, you know, they may have not got caught for it. They may have not got in trouble, but I could have lost my life. I could have lost my life in a car wreck, or I could have got a even worse sentence and lost my life and all over the dumbest mistake for not thinking and using my head. I was just acting.
So where were you raised in Louisville, man?
I was raised in numerous spots. I was raised in the West End and in the East End and
What part of the West End? What part of the West End?
in the Market area.
34th the Market, you know,
28th,
28th Market. Okay, down from the Kroger. Okay. What about the East End? Where you live at the East End?
I lived in the project, Shepherd Square
Shepherd
Project.
Square. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
off Hancock. Okay.
The PJs.
So you just doing your thing. You just doing your thing. You didn't. Do you have any father in your life?
Yes, sir.
This guy, he reminds me
Yes,
of
sir.
that actor, that one guy. I don't know his name. The board member.
Was he a good example for you?
I mean, he was in and out. He really wasn't there. I mean, the only one that was there for it was my mom, and she really wasn't there. Like, she was a truck driver. She'll leave out Monday through Friday, and then she'll come in Saturday and Sunday. And then my pops, he was a cab driver, and then he would go in to do like loads whenever they call him to come do loads to drop off. He'll go out and do his loads. So it was really just like my brothers and my sisters, and they wasn't there at all. Like, one of my brothers he'll just play the game, and he didn't care what I did. I was, you know, I
So
cooked.
would you say that you were probably an unsupervised teen? You just did what you want, whatever you want to do, with nobody to give you any guidance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't have no guidance. I was just lost trying to figure out, you know, what life was about. I was trying to figure out what to do. I didn't have no pops to be like, hey, pops. He didn't come home and stay up long enough for me to be like, hey, pops, can I do this? What's the outcome from this? Is this right or is this wrong? It was always my brother. And my brother, he's in and out of jail, and he really didn't care.
Mm-hmm. So what you learned in MRT, man? Talk to us about some of the things you learned in MRT, man.
I learned how to make short-term goals and long-term goals. I learned how to sit down and think and regroup and cope with my mental, and how to, like, it's a step in there, and it asks you what do you plan on doing, and how do you plan on keeping your steps up, and what's the next step to achieve these goals. And every night before I do my book, I would go look at that to make sure that it's still in my head, and to make sure that I do it. And then I kind of do it every day in her. I wake up every day in her, and I still go with that same momentum. I wake up, I'll go work out, boom, I come back, I study the book. Even though I'm not even doing it no more, I got anger management, so I study that book, and then at, you know, second shift, I got a job, so I'll do my job and then come back and then just lay back. I sit there and recoup my day and see what I did positive for the day and see what I did negative. And if I ain't did nothing negative, then I know that I'm in the right footsteps.
What's your long-term goal? What's some of your long-term goals?
My long-term goal is to get out, make sure my kids are straight, and to have a job and teach my son right from wrong and teach my daughter right from wrong. My short-term goal is to make sure I keep up with that.
Make sure you keep up with what?
Make sure I keep up with my long-term goal, because it's so easy to get distracted. I can be doing this right here, and then something else will pop up. But I got to stay on track. I can't get off track. I have to maintain and obtain that same goal.
Do you have a GED, or are you a high school graduate?
No, sir.
Okay, so my question is, how are you going to be successful without one of those two? Because both of them are gateways to making yourself more viable.
I've been working. I got the GED book. I've been working on that. I took my tape test, and I haven't had anything back due to the academic building being closed and everything else. I've been working on it, but my programs, I had programs, and then it was the GED, and I tried to slide my GED within the programs, but it's like if you miss 1 or 2 days with the GED, then your slot's closed. And I was doing my programs. I had to do my programs at least 2 times a week. And if you miss GED, at least 1 or 2 times out of the week, then your slot's gone.
Well, I'm just here to tell you, you need at least to have a GED. That's some education that creates doors. It has doors that you can go through that you couldn't go through if you didn't have them. All right. Let's talk about this disciplinary stuff going on, man.
He looked lost and confused.
You got you saw the board back in, when did you see the board? Let me see here. Be sure I'm talking right here.
Minimum.
You saw the board in July. So since then, you've had 3 disciplinaries. 2 of them are still pending warrants review. What was the contraband case all about, man? It happened in October.
I had moved in a cell. They had moved me from off of the day bed and moved me in a cell, and my stuff was on this side of the locker, and they had came in there and searched the cell due to, my bunkie and his previous cellie that was in there, and they had found a tattoo needle in there, and they had asked me if it was mine, and I told them, I'm like, no, it's not mine, because if it was, I would have took accountability for it. And they was like, well, it's on your side, and your bunkie's not taking accountability for it, and he's saying it's yours, so we're just going to write you up for it. And it really wasn't nothing I can do about it, because there's no cameras in the cell, so they couldn't go back and review the cameras to see if I was telling the truth or not, and my bunkie wasn't. And my bunkie wasn't telling them that, it was his prior bunkie, so they hit me with the write-up.
I'm talking about I guess that's another one there, but I'm talking about the one, looks like you had some food that you shouldn't have had, some kind of bologna and wheat bread and some boiled, looks like some commissary items.
I was sitting on the rock outside in front of our dorm, and I was listening to music, and there was a guy named Laquan Clark. He had class, and he was like, hey, I just got my canteen. Can you go pick it up? I got class. I'm like, all right, because I had done it for him before. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went to go pick it up, and I gave it to him. And next thing you know, they had ran in there, and they locked him up, and they told him to give it back. And the UA had asked me, she said, did you know what was going on? I'm like, no, ma'am, I didn't. And she was like, well, I know that y'all had previous, to where you would go pick something up for somebody and hold it for them until they get out of class. But she was like, he just got out the hole for extortion. I'm like, no, ma'am, I didn't know nothing. I didn't have nothing to do with that. I didn't know what was going on. And the guy didn't even tell Quan to come get her nothing. He was just like, this is for Quan. And I took it and I gave it to him, and they came and locked him up for it. I never got locked up for it. I didn't even know I had a write-up until the UA told me, and that was like 3 weeks later. She told me, she was like, you got a write-up for this. And she really didn't want to do it, but she had to.
Bottom line is you're responsible for all your actions
Yes, sir.
down there. And you know that there's all kind of stuff going on down there. You ain't that naive that you don't know some of the stuff that's going on. To put yourself in a position to be, I wouldn't take no heat for nobody if I was in that situation. I wouldn't even put myself in that situation to start with. But that's not that big of a deal for me. I am concerned about one of the pendings on the fight. Are you a gang member?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay.
I don't even condone it. I stay to myself. I stay to myself. I'm gonna tell you about the fight. The guy, he's been asking me for it was a ongoing thing for like a week. And it was over something so small. And he had asked me in the gym one day, he was like, do you want to fight? I'm like, nah, man, I don't want to fight. I'm not a confrontational person. I'm like, nah, I don't want to fight, man. I don't want to fight. I don't want to go in the hole. I don't want to take it there. Let's talk it out. Let's see what the problem is. I honestly don't know what the problem was. He just was just like, do you want to fight me? So I'm like, nah, I don't want to fight. So I had ended up leaving the gym immediately. I went back to my dorm. And I sat down and watched, and I was watching TV. I was trying to figure out why he was so mad. And the next morning, the yard had opened, and this was right before he was going to class because I had class too, and I was trying to catch up with him and be like, "Hey, man, what's the problem between us? Why do you want to, I'm trying to figure, because I don't want to have to walk on the yard and look over my shoulder and I'm getting jumped, or walk on the yard and look over my shoulder and somebody didn't sucker punch me or something. I don't want to have to walk on the yard and have to worry about, somebody being after me. So I was trying to go down there and ask him, hey man, what's the problem? And next thing you know, he just started punching me. So I was just like, I didn't fight him back at all. Because I don't know what, I'm not about to just fight nobody. I don't know what's going on. I didn't fight back at all. But since they couldn't see it on camera as me not fighting back, they locked both of us up and said that we was, it was a 3 or more fight because me and him was in the cell and somebody was on the outside watching. And when we had ended up getting out, he had told the police, he was like, yeah, man, he didn't fight back. But it's too late because we had already done the time for the incident.
I don't know how that's somebody coming up to you and wanting to fight. Nah, normally there's something behind
you
it.
got in a fight with?
Emmanuel Howard.
I'm gonna have to reach out to Emmanuel Howard and see what his take on this is. Tabby says, I don't believe him. Jonathan says lies. Esmeralda says, what he do? Can anybody type that up in the chat? I'd highly appreciate it. Dorothy wrote, I don't believe
Who's
him.
Gardner?
Gardner's another inmate on the yard.
Thank you, lover. One panda lover. _ panda lover.
You sure this ain't no gang stuff going on, huh?
I'm positive. I'm positive, sir.
So maybe some of your buddies involved? Maybe some of your buddies involved in this?
They was already down there. They had already had something going on. I quite frankly don't really care about what they got going on because it has nothing to do with me at the end of the day. I want to make sure I'm straight. I stay to myself. I make sure when I leave, I go to my room, get on the phone, or make something to eat, go to sleep, go work out. I don't quite frankly care about what the next person got going on because it's not going to benefit me at the end of the day. I don't want to be drugged down with somebody who's already there.
Okay. All right. That's all the questions I have, sir. Let me see if my colleagues have any questions for you. Oh, before I do that, let me ask you, in the event that we would parole you, what's your plan?
My plan is to get into the Goodwill program, which I've already came to her to try to get into it, and to make sure I get the job that my mother has planned for me. My mama got a job set up for me, and my brother has a job set up for me. So either one of which way it goes, I'm gonna have a job and to stay at my mom's house until I get my own apartment.
Where's your mom stay at?
My mom stays in the South End. Her address is 100 West Amherst Street.
Okay, that's off Southside Drive. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's all the questions I have for you. Mrs. Fields, you have any questions?
Mr. Smith, what type of jobs are lined up for you?
My mom, she got a cleaning job lined up for me, and my brother, he's like a manager at Ford, so he is trying to make sure I got something there. He hasn't quite frankly told me what that job would be.
Okay. How is your mental health?
My mental health is okay. My mental health is okay.
Do you suffer from anything like anxiety, depression?
Oh, ma'am. I mean, I'll probably, with depression, I'll feel down and just listen to some music or something to get back up. It don't be like to where I'll just be really depressed. I may feel down and out sometimes and I'll just listen to a couple of songs or something.
Okay. Do you have PTSD?
Oh, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Not from the accident?
No, ma'am. I mean, I did at first, but I learned how to cope with it and get over it.
Okay. How about ADHD?
I think I do. I think I do got ADHD. I don't know.
Okay. So have you been diagnosed with those?
I can't even remember.
Okay.
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay. I appreciate you answering my questions. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Lathan?
Good afternoon, Mrs. Smith. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I just want to ask you some questions, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about the accident. You said what the person that lost their life was their relative. How was this person related to you?
That's my cousin on my dad's side,
Mm-hmm.
and his mom is my dad's sister.
Okay. So it's your first cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
So I want to go back. Let's go back before the accident because you had a juvenile record and we've already established that. And, one of the reasons why you're not finished with school or you don't have a GED is because you were in and out of trouble as a juvenile.
Yeah.
When you were in school, did you have what they call an IEP, individualized education plan?
No, ma'am. I did not have that. No,
You didn't
ma'am.
have that. So you didn't go to resource where you were pulled to go to classes somewhere else and deal with a special ed teacher or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good because we know that you are capable of obtaining your GED. Also, you seem pretty articulate, so I would think that that wouldn't be an issue anyway. However, I do understand people being products of their environment and you saying that you grew up in an area, you had little guidance and you can't change those things, right?
And I can change them.
Well, you can change moving forward, but
Yes,
the
ma'am.
fact that happened to you, you can't change
I
that,
can't.
right?
Yes, ma'am. I can't
Okay.
change it.
So let's focus on not so much of concentrating on what happened to us, but what we can do differently. Because you're 23 years old. You have two choices. You can continue down the path that you have been going down and end up spending the rest of your life in prison, or you can make some positive changes in your life and learn how to be a productive citizen. And which one do you want to do?
I want to be a productive citizen and make positive changes in my life.
Okay, so you've had some programs, you've talked to us about the programs, but when you get out and there's an opportunity out there for you to implement what you've learned while you've been incarcerated, what type of choices do you think you're going to make in the future?
I'm gonna make positive choices because I have kids that I have to look after. I don't want to have to see. I don't want to I don't want to have them look at me in prison for the rest of my life. I don't want to have them look at me and be like, "Daddy, when you coming home?" or "Daddy, what did you do to do this?" I want to make sure I can be able to be there for them and raise them in the right way and raise their friends and their associates in the right way and tell them right from wrong and tell them my story so they won't even get a thought of going down the wrong path. This is no place for nobody to be. I don't want to see nobody go through this. So I know that I can make a change if I try. Like, if I know I got the opportunity to make a change, I can make a difference and a change in the world.
Well, we want you to make a change. But we also want you to be able to stay out. We don't want to set you up for failure. So I'm just trying to ask you these questions to see what you might need in order for you to be on the right path. So I want to go back to what Ms. Fields was talking to you about. Because one of the ways that you're going to be able to do this is make sure your mental health is okay. So we have information in our files that indicates that you've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress syndrome. You probably are going to need to get some help for that. So if the parole board would grant you parole, are you willing to have a mental health assessment in the community and follow the treatment recommendations?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Because you can have some things going on with you from the fact that you didn't have a stable childhood and there was nobody there that was going to make sure that you weren't in trouble. It doesn't necessarily have to just stimulate from the wreck. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want you to listen to me really carefully, because I could say some things to you. Mr. James could say some things to you that Mrs. Fields can't say to you. And that's because we look like you. When I say that, what do I mean?
Both African Americans.
That's right. So African Americans have this stigma in the community where they look at mental health as a weakness, and you recognizing that you have mental health issues as a weakness. Mrs. Smith, you can't afford to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to get some help. You are headed in the wrong direction, sir. And I can almost rest assure you, without telling you all of me and Mr. James's background history, there ain't much difference between your childhood and our childhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody invested time in us, told us what to do to get on a different path. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am.
And we made those changes. And that's what you have to do. And one of the reasons why we know that you're almost not ready to do that is because you keep getting in trouble. Why do you think that they have rules and regulations in the prison system?
You can stay on track and keep focused.
And maintain safety. The same reason why there are laws in society. What do you think would happen if people were just out there getting to do whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it?
Chaos.
Dangerous. It'll be dangerous.
That's right. You get the picture?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You think you're ready to go home?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. I don't have anything else for you. Thank you, Mr. James.
Thank you, Ms. Lathan. Okay, Mr. Smith, that concludes the interview portion of your hearing. Before my colleagues and I break for deliberation to make our decision, is there anything you'd like to tell us?
I appreciate y'all for giving me the opportunity to, explain myself, and for y'all actually to listen to me and get everything that I need to get off my chest today.
Okay, remain seated right there, Mr. Smith. We're going to go to our breakout room, and we will be back with you momentarily, okay?
Yes, sir.
Recording stopped.
All right. So this hearing is live. I know you guys are asking, what state is this in right now? I'm not gonna share that just quite yet because this is a live hearing, and in the past I've had some issues before where they definitely derailed me. So this is you know what, the sentencing structure on this is weird. So he's been incarcerated. He hit prison in 2023, February 28, 2023. 2023, and it says expected time to serve. He's supposed to be, I guess if he does a good time, he'll be out in next year, 2027, March 17, 2027. But they could hold him until April 27, 2031. And the charges he had was manslaughter, second degree, assault, second degree, receiving stolen property, over 10,000. Let me see, endangerment, first degree, fleeing or evading police, first degree, motor vehicle, incomplete, offense information found, escape. Oh, he also escaped. That's right, second degree. And from a facility, and tampering with a personal monitoring device. He removed his GPS. So on the sentencing scheme here for the manslaughter, it was 10 years. The assault second degree was 10 years. Receiving stolen property was 5. Let me see, the first degree endangerment, that was 5 years. Fleeing was 5 years. And escape was 1 year. Tampering was 1 year. So if you add all of that up, that's let me see, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37 years, man. And he's already up for parole. Definitely interesting. If you guys wouldn't mind, if you guys could go ahead and share where you guys are coming in from. Also, do you guys feel like he's ready to be paroled? Hopefully, with you guys driving up the numbers, hitting the likes, you're able to get us into the FYP. I would highly appreciate it. Also, if you guys could do me another little favor, I don't want you to send me green dots or cash apps or anything, or put your wallet away. I'm not asking for money. But if you guys could go on my profile, and if you guys see maybe the first 5 videos, if you guys go drop comments on those videos, and also share them too, so helps me out, helps this TikTok channel grow. I also have a YouTube channel. It's also by at CollectCallFrom, where I also do streams. Also, I'm doing a live stream over there right now with from the state of Utah, and that's Board of Parole hearings. And man, we got a lot of people from Pomona. I got you, James. Hell yeah, gracias, highly appreciate that, Christy. Let me see. We got Trixie 23 OC California. It's on fire, muy caliente. Let me see. I follow you on here and there. Hey, gracias. Waiting on. Hell yeah. Appreciate that. Gene Dan, as a former lifer, he would definitely be denied. Yup. We got Christy from Ohio. We got Nana. Did he get parole? No. So we're waiting right now. We're waiting for them to tell us. We got Chinos, Califas. We got Florida, Iowa. Hell yeah. Hey, gracias Carter for that follow. Trixie, thanks for the follow. It definitely helps us out. We got Patty. Thank you for the follow. We got Vicky Marie coming from Pomona. Why you bullshitting? Utah, Minnesota, California, WI. I'm not sure what that's. SoCal. This is the first parole, right? Yeah, this is. He's only been. He got to prison last year. He hasn't even been in prison a year yet. I'm not sure how long he was in county jail for. We see. We got Antonia from Texas. We got Nikki from Nebraska. We got Patty from Ontario, Wisconsin. Pensacola, Florida. We got Maggie from Wow. Let's see. We got, I think it's Caitlin, sub, YouTube. Hey, gracias. Highly appreciate it. Trying to get to 5,000 subs on YouTube. And we see Nikki. Yeah, that's crazy. Too early. Can we know what state? Yeah, nah, not yet. We got Vancouver, Canada. They said 1,000 days. Blythe, California, the 760. Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. Let me see. I think he was there for over 1,000 days. Oh, before. So what? Like 3.5 years. So he's been probably incarcerated like 4 years at this point. Toronto, Canada, Omaha, Compton, California, Maine, the 562. Hell yeah, represent your city, if you will. Okay, I missed that. I'm trying to read the comments and listening to the hearing here. So let me see, 215, and I think today they're gonna have a lot of hearings. So I don't know. Let me see, it's 10 right now. My daughter gets off in about 4 hours, so I'll try to be here for the next 4 hours. If he gets parole, when does he get out? Does he get out today? I don't think so, because the last dude that got paroled, he wasn't gonna get out today. I forgot how long it takes. This is the first time that I'm streaming this state, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm not familiar with what their protocol is exactly when they release them, how long it takes or whatnot. But what I can tell you is that they'll tell us on the spot whether they're gonna be found eligible for parole. And this one I'm not live streaming on YouTube right now. I'm only doing it on TikTok. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut them up into sections. If you guys want to catch them later on YouTube. I'll probably try to put him up in the next day or two. So just be on the lookout. We got somebody from Philly. Oh, do Was it Do What I Do? That's right, Philly. We got Troy coming in from St. Paul, Minnesota. We also been doing some Minnesota hearings. Do you ever stream California? California, unfortunately, they don't offer access to them. I've been trying to get into them. I've been emailing the Board of Parole, but every time that I try to do it, they deny me for whatever reason. And they're starting back up.
Recording in progress.
We're back in the game.
Okay, Mr. Smith, can you still see and hear us? I can't hear you, Mr. Smith.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I hear you now. Okay. All right, Mr. Smith, after looking at all of our information that we had on you, all your records, and more importantly, after our interview with you, it will be the decision of this parole board panel to grant you the privilege of parole.
What?
Now, with parole, there are some stipulations that come with that. And so I want to read those off to you. You are to complete any program deemed necessary by the Division of Probation and Parole, which means whenever your parole officer tells you to do a program or whatever he tells you to do, or she tells you to do, you need to be about doing that, okay?
Sir.
They speak on our behalf. And we're really serious about this next one, man. We want you to work on that, get on that GED. You need that. That is a gateway to other opportunities, okay?
Sir.
That needs to be one of your long and short-term goals, is get that GED. And then we want you to seek a mental health assessment out in the community and follow all recommendations. Your PO can work with you on that. And while I'm talking about POs, guess who your most crucial person is going to be while you're on supervision? PO. Anything, I don't care what it is. You go to your PO. Don't abscond. Don't walk or run away, because all you're going to do is pile on. Okay, so make sure you maintain a good working relationship with your PO. And then finally, you indicated to us that you want to be a father to your kids.
Sure.
So we're going to recommend that you enter and complete MRT parenting. That might be a great tool for you to utilize as a young father. Now, Ms. Lathis has some parting comments for you.
Mr. Smith, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
This board wants you to do well, okay, sir?
Oh.
You going back to Jefferson County?
Yes, ma'am.
There are lots of programs down there, lots of things going on good in the communities. You go home and get you a mentor and somebody in that community that cares about whether or not you make it, okay?
Okay.
And learn some new things.
Yeah.
And learn how to be, you have to be taught, learn how to be productive. And do something different. Do it for yourself, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, we believe in you.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey. Don't tell nobody you got parole, buddy. Don't say nothing to nobody.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Don't tell nobody, all right?
On the way before I leave.
That's right, because you was going to go out there happy. That's right.
Nah, I was going to go out there mad. That's the plan, because I don't want nobody knowing that I made parole.
Okay.
Take my hand off.
You're safe.
Okay, good.
Your secret is safe with us. You heard that, all right? Hey, I'm trusting you guys that you guys are going to say nothing, all right?
Bless his heart.
Youngster.
Yeah.
The baby.
I mean, running to spread that word.
Something to teach him that there's another